which one doesn't work?
The neck.
Can a total noob change the pickup coils on an electric guitar easily from home, or is this a job better left for a professional? Well, we don't know, but today I've got Parker here. He's going to help us find out. So what we've got here is, this is a Behringer, just an inexpensive guitar. You can pick these up on Amazon, eBay, probably your local Facebook marketplace. It's just a nice, inexpensive guitar that gets you into the world of playing guitars. So this has been Parker's guitar for the last couple of years. And the number one complaint that he had is, first of all, the pickup coil here is broken. It's been broken since the beginning and it's never worked. So that's a bit of a problem. The other two have worked, but Parker's been talking about these. Now, what are these? I'm glad you asked. This is a very inexpensive dual pickup coil. So you can tell that it's a dual coil because it's got these two shiny bars here versus this guy, which has just little individual magnet pickups over top of each of the strings. This should help make the sound from the guitar be a lot more full and it picks up both sides of the sine wave is basically what happens if you want to know kind of the physics behind it. But we're going to open this guitar up. We're going to install this pickup coil and this one, and all these parts are just hanging. This is all sitting here. So it comes with springs and screws and then the pickup coil. We can get rid of that. Like that. Now the actual install should be pretty easy. It's only a few wires here. And if I go like this, you can see. So the first question you're gonna have, so even though this has 5 wires, if I show you guys here, they've been soldered together. So the white and the red are soldered together, and then the bare earth and the green are soldered together, and then the black is kind of by itself. So there's really only 3 connections that need to be made inside the guitar. But disassembly of the guitar is required. I've never pulled a guitar apart. Parker's never pulled a guitar apart. It looks pretty easy, but this is why we're gonna find out if an amateur can do this swap. And if it works successfully, we will put links in the description for these pickups. We'll put links for the soldering station that we're gonna use. It's very inexpensive. I'll put a link for the guitar if you wanna pick up one of these guitars. But the next thing for us to do is just to start stripping it apart. And that's where I'm gonna turn things over to Parker, because I said that we wanted to know if a total novice newbie can do this. And Parker is about as novice as it comes to stripping a guitar apart. So we'll document exactly what we're doing as we go here so that you can see the process. I know there's other videos of guys showing you, here's a dual pickup, this is what it sounds like, and kind of a brief overview of what they did, but this will be a pretty complete overview of exactly what we're doing, and then I'll try to narrate it while Parker's doing that work. So I might even pick up this camera over here and use this as like a roaming camera while we do this, but we'll see how this goes. Now the first thing that we're gonna do is strip off all of our button caps, our volume, and all of that, because ultimately we need to get out underneath this thing here. Now you should potentially have some new strings because you might damage the strings in this process. We're gonna try and do this without damaging the springs. So Parker's already getting ahead of himself. I think we want to relieve the neck first. So to clean the neck off, or to pull the neck off, you're going to undo the 4 screws here. That gets you underneath there. So we've taken the neck off, we've left the strings on. This is because we don't actually have replacement strings. So we're trying to do this without having to take the strings off. So I'm thinking if we just kind of set this down like this, the strings are out of the way. We're not gonna wreck them, we're gonna be very careful of them. This exposes this main part here where the electronics are gonna be. That's where all of the action is gonna happen. So now I should be able to undo some key screws here and get to the back side of this. So there's only a few screws that we need to get. So these two here obviously are holding this switch. The ones on each side of the pickup are holding the pickups. We don't need to undo those screws, but we will need to do all these perimeter screws right here in order to get this off, and it should just pull right off. So Parker is going to do that next. So Parker has advised me that the ground wire is attached to the bridge. We should take that off first. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And all we're going to do, I've got my soldering iron here. This is a desoldering station, but really all we got to do is heat this up and then that wire will pull right off easily, usually. And we've got it set to 400. Sometimes if it doesn't want to release, you just got to get a little extra solder on there. And once that starts melting, then it'll melt the rest off at the same time. There we go. The ground pickup is off. You guys had your view totally blocked. It's hard to desolder stuff. So just remember that's where that went. And then we can flip this back over. Okay, now that we've undone that ground wire, now we can undo these perimeter screws. So you can go ahead and do that. Don't move it. We'll see if I've got an extra screwdriver that I can use. So the next thing we got to do is pull out the coils that we're replacing. So we're just replacing the two on the ends. We're not doing the middle one. The one of them, this guy, didn't work anyway, and I never really checked it. I was gonna check this switch because I think that the switch might be problematic, but I don't really feel like it anymore. So we're just gonna wire it up. If I have to, I'll come back in, change that switch out later because it could be the coil that's faulty. So all we're doing is just cutting the wire wrap here, and then this is a mess and a half. Now we need to unsolder this guy. And the easiest way to do that is with what is called a solder sucker. Now all this is, there's a spring in here and there's a plunger here. So when you stick this down, it pushes the plunger up, and then when I push this button, it sucks air really fast. So once you get this heated up, all it's gonna do is just suck that out. So I'm gonna do one and then Parker's gonna do the other ones. So all we do is just tap this on here till you see it start to flow. We're gonna try a different method here. So what we can do, because we've stripped this, is just heat this up until the wires pull right out the back. There, so you can see it starting to flow, and then there. So the wire just popped out the back. Now if I wanted to, I can still suck that solder right out of there, just like that. And then it cleans it right up. And then I just dump that out right there. So now Parker's gonna try because he's the noob. So hopefully he was paying attention. So you're just gonna grab that wire, touch that on the black part, and hold it on there till the wire pulls out. Just keep holding it. You don't gotta move it, you don't gotta anything. There you go. Okay, now move the wire out of the way. While that's still hot, you gotta watch your hand, put it on there, get it all nice and hot still. There you go. Okay, you can put the soldering iron back. Okay, so Parker has successfully desoldered those wires. Now we can undo the screws that are holding the pickups in place. So I'll do this one while Parker does the other. Okay, so this is one of the coils out, and this is the dual rail coil going, ready to go back in. So we are ready to put the new one in. So all we're gonna do is, oh, that's the old one. I found another spring. I don't know where I found it. So all we want to do is make sure that we put the spring in between the screw and the pickup. So we're going to go like this. We're going to put the spring on it like that. Then we're going to put the pickup like that. And then we'll put a couple teeth on it. And we'll get the other one, do the same thing. And we're going to put that on there like that. One thing we forgot to do, I guess it doesn't really matter. So we'll just tie the ground on now. So for the wiring, what I think it is, and if this is right, I'll confirm at the end of the video, but I think that the green and ground wire go onto the chassis ground right here. So I'm gonna do that for both of them. Then the black wire goes into the holes here, and then the red and white wire actually just do nothing. They get taped off and they don't get connected to anything. So I think that's what happens. So if that's true, we go like this and just stick the black wire through the hole. They weren't crossed, they were even.
This one was the bridge.
I'm not sure what you're saying. You think that it went over? So all we're gonna do is we're sticking the wires through the hole, and then we're gonna solder them back on into position. So this helps to just hold it like this. Now there's no great way to show you guys this, so I'm gonna try and go like this and see if I can solder this way. So all we're doing is heating this guy up until it's just a big blob of solder. Like there's nothing special about this. But once it gets heated up enough, then it'll start to flow. And then we're just gonna stick this in the flowing solder. The soldering is all complete. We're gonna put some black tape on the red and white wires, and I'm pretty confident that this is the correct wiring just because of how these coils are done. We just need to loop them together so that they pick up both sides of the coil. So really, even though there's multiple wires here, there's really only two because these just connect together. They could have been connected here. They also could have been soldered at the points up here. We're gonna do some wire management. So we could have cut these cables smaller if we wanted, but when we get the tape, I'm just gonna go like this, tape it all together so it's out of the way. And then this is ready to close up and put back together and then test it on out. So all we're gonna do, we don't want them to touch though. So we're taking the one from one coil and going like that. And we'll take the one from the other coil. I just don't want it to short circuit on something else, is what I'm aiming for here. Now, if you had tie wraps, then this is something you can tie wrap as well. And we'll just put a little tag on there so that we can get it off later. Now, this is 100% done. I don't want that to fall off. So I'll kind of go, look, it already did fall off. I said I didn't want it to fall off and it fell off. So that shows you how well these tape things that I did are gonna work. That's that. Now this can just get fed right back through. So it turns out this ground wire was plenty long enough. We probably could have got away without desoldering it, but we didn't know, so we did what we did. Okay, so we're so confident that we're gonna just screw this back together now. Okay, so now it's time to, well, let's solder the back ground wire on so we can turn the soldering iron off. Stop burning people. Those of you who are new to soldering, it's hot and it will burn you if you touch it when it's hot. It's 400 degrees. So that's it. We have finished doing the entire install. We were able to put it back together without breaking any strings yet. We still have final tuning to do, which Parker's gonna do, but the actual install was correct. So we've tested it, made sure that they all play sound. Turns out we've restored all of the pickups, whereas before one of these two obviously was broken because it never did work, but we are getting sound. So the wiring is correct. I will have the diagram up on screen of what we did for the wiring. So if you wanted to do this install, you would know exactly how the wiring needs to be. The next thing is obviously to just show you guys what it sounds like. So we'll go through each of them individually and we'll do the pairs as well. Parker's gonna play his best songs that he knows how to play. This is not a video showing you how a newbie plays a guitar. This is a video of how two newbies change the pickups from these coils to the dual rail pickups. Now these pickups can be had on Amazon for very, very cheap. We got two of them for $30 Canadian. That's probably like 10 bucks American. And the install was dead easy. If you need the soldering station, I'll put a link in the description. For that, it's like a $40 soldering station. But I wanna know from you guys, what do you think about this install? Is it something that you're gonna try? And how does the guitar sound after the pickups have been put in? Remember, this is a cheap guitar with cheap pickups that makes a pretty good sound for the price. Okay, now switch to which one doesn't work?
The neck.
Okay, so right now we're set for the bridge.
Yes.
Okay, so we're in bridge mode. Parker's gonna strum us a tune. Okay, so that was the bridge. Now we'll go to, the middle wasn't changed, so we don't need to check that. So let's go right to the neck, which didn't work before, and now it does. Here is the neck. Okay, now switch to which one doesn't work.
The neck.
That's your neck?
Yeah.
Okay, what did you guys think of it? Before and after. The offset look is not too bad, but the middle one obviously sticks out a little bit, like a sore thumb, just because it's white and the rest are black. But there you go. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video, and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.